Leviticus chapter 13. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, If any man should have in the skin of his flesh a bright clear spot, and there should be in the skin of his flesh a plague of leprosy, he shall be brought to Aaron the priest, or to one of his sons the priests. And the priest shall view the spot in the skin of his flesh. And if the hair in the spot has changed to white, and the appearance of the spot be below the skin of the flesh, it is a plague of leprosy. And the priest shall look upon it, and pronounce him unclean. But if the spot be clear and white in the skin of his flesh, yet the appearance of it be not deep below the skin, and its hair have not changed itself for white hair, but it is dark, then the priest shall separate him that has the spot 7 days. And the priest shall look on the spot the 7th day. And behold, if the spot remains before him, if the spot has not spread in the skin, then the priest shall separate him the 2nd time 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him the 2nd time on the 7th day, and behold, if the spot be dark, and the spot have not spread in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is a mere mark, and the man shall wash his garments and be clean. But if the bright spot should have changed and spread in the skin, after the priest has set in him for the purpose of purifying him, then shall he appear the 2nd time to the priest, and the priest shall look upon him, and behold, if the mark have spread in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy. And if a man have a plague of leprosy, then he shall come to the priest, and the priest shall look, and behold, if it is a white spot in the skin, and it has changed the hair to white, and there be some of the sound a part of the quick flesh in the sore, it is a leprosy waxing old in the skin of the flesh. The priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall separate him, because he is unclean. And if the leprosy should have come out evidently in the skin, and the leprosy should cover all the skin of the patient from the head to the feet, wheresoever the priest shall look, then the priest shall look, and behold, the leprosy has covered all the skin of the flesh. And the priest shall pronounce him clean of the plague, because it has changed all to white. It is clean. But on whatsoever day the quick flesh shall appear on him, he shall be pronounced unclean. And the priest shall look upon the sound flesh, and the sound flesh shall prove him to be unclean, for it is unclean. It is leprosy. But if the sound flesh be restored and changed to white, then shall he come to the priest, and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague is turned white, then the priest shall pronounce the patient clean. He is clean. And if the flesh should have become an ulcer in his skin, and should be healed, and there should be in the place of the ulcer a white sore, or one looking white and bright, or fiery, and it shall be seen by the priest, then the priest shall look, and behold, if the appearance be beneath the skin, and its hair has changed to white, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean, because it is a leprosy. It has broken out in the ulcer. But if the priest look, and behold, there is no white hair on it, and it be not below the skin of the flesh, and it be dark colored, then the priest shall separate him 7 days. But if it manifestly spread over the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. It has broken out in the ulcer. But if the bright spot should remain in its place and not spread, it is the scar of the ulcer, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. And if the flesh be in his skin in a state of fiery inflammation, and there should be in his skin the part which is healed of the inflammation, bright, clear, and white, suffused with red or very white, then the priest shall look upon him, and behold, if the hair being white is changed to a bright color, and his appearance is lower than the skin, it is a leprosy. It has broken out in the inflammation, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. But if the priest should look, and behold, there is not in the bright spot any white hair, and it should not be lower than the skin, and it should be dark, then the priest shall separate him 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him on the 7th day, and if the spot be much spread in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. It has broken out in the ulcer. But if the bright spot remain stationary, and it be not spread in the skin, but the sore should be dark, it is a scar of inflammation, and the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is the mark of the inflammation. And if a man or woman have in them a plague of leprosy in the head or the beard, then the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the appearance of it be beneath the skin, and in it there be thin yellowish hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a scurf. It is a leprosy of the head or a leprosy of the beard. And if the priest should see the plague of the scurf, and, behold, the appearance of it not beneath the skin, and there is no yellowish hair in it, then the priest shall set apart him that has the plague of the scurf 7 days. And the priest shall look at the plague on the 7th day, and behold, if the scurf be not spread, and there be no yellowish hair on it, and the appearance of the scurf is not hollow under the skin, then the skin shall be shaven, but the scurf shall not be shaven. And the priest shall set aside the person having the scurf the second time for 7 days. And the priest shall see the scurf on the 7th day, and behold, if the scurf is not spread in the skin after the man's being shaved, and the appearance of the scurf is not hollow beneath the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his garments and be clean. But if the scurf be indeed spread in the skin after he has been purified, then the priest shall look, and behold, if the scurf be spread in the skin, the priest shall not examine concerning the yellow hair, for he is unclean. But if the scurf remain before him in its place, and a dark hair should have arisen in it, the scurf is healed, he is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. And if a man or woman should have in the skin of their flesh spots of a bright whiteness, then the priest shall look, and behold, there being bright spots of a bright whiteness in the skin of their flesh, it is a tetter, it bursts forth in the skin of his flesh, he is clean. And if anyone's head should lose the hair, he is only bald, he is clean. And if his head should lose the hair in front, he is forehead bald, he is clean. If there should be in his baldness of head or his baldness of forehead a white or fiery plague, it is leprosy, in his baldness of head or baldness of forehead. And the priest shall look upon him, and behold, if the appearance of the plague be white or inflamed in his baldness of head or baldness in front, as the appearance of leprosy in the skin of his flesh, he is a leprous man. The priest shall surely pronounce him unclean. His plague is in his head. And the leper in whom the plague is, let his garments be ungirt, and his head uncovered, and let him have a covering put upon his mouth, and he shall be called unclean. All the days in which the plague shall be upon him, being unclean, he shall be esteemed unclean. He shall dwell apart, his place of sojourn shall be without the camp. And if a garment have in it the plague of leprosy, a garment of wool, or a garment of flax, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in the linen, or in the woolen threads, or in a skin, or in any workmanship of the skin, and the plague be greenish or reddish in the skin, or in the garment, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in any utensil of skin, it is a plague of leprosy, and he shall show it to the priest. And the priest shall look upon the plague, and the priest shall set apart that which has been the plague 7 days. And the priest shall look upon the plague on the 7th day, and the plague be spread in the garment, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in the skin, in whatsoever things skins may be used in their workmanship, the plague is a confirmed leprosy. It is unclean. He shall burn the garment, either the warp or woof, in woolen garments, or in flaxen, or in any utensil of skin, in which there may be the plague, because it is a confirmed leprosy, it shall be burnt with fire. And if the priest should see, and the plague be not spread in the garments, either in the warp or in the woof, or in any utensil of skin, then the priest shall give directions, and one shall wash that on which there may have been the plague. And the priest shall set it aside a second time for 7 days. And the priest shall look upon it after the plague has been washed. And if this, even the plague, has not changed its appearance, and the plague does not spread, it is unclean. It shall be burnt with fire. It is fixed in the garment, in the warp, or in the woof. And if the priest should look, and the spot be dark after it has been washed, he shall tear it off from the garment, either from the warp, or from the woof, or from the skin. And if it should still appear in the garment, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in any article of skin, it is a leprosy bursting forth. That wherein is the plague shall be burnt with fire. And the garment, or the warp, or the woof, or any article of skin, which shall be washed, and the plague depart from it, shall also be washed again, and shall be clean. This is the law of the plague of leprosy of a woolen or linen garment, either of the warp, or woof, or any leathern article, to pronounce it clean or unclean. Psalm 34, 35 in Hebrew, verses 17 through 28. O Lord, when wilt thou look upon me? Deliver my soul from the mischief, mine only begotten one from the lions. I will give thanks to thee, even in a great congregation. In an abundant people I will praise thee. Let not them that are mine enemies without a cause rejoice against me, who hate me for nothing, and wink with their eyes. For to me they spoke peaceably, but imagined deceits in their anger. And they opened their wide mouths upon me, and said, Aha, aha, our eyes have seen it. Thou hast seen it, O Lord, keep not silence. O Lord, withdraw not thyself from me. Awaken, O Lord, and attend to my judgment, even to my cause, my God and my Lord. Judge me, O Lord, according to thy righteousness. O Lord my God, and let them not rejoice against me. Let them not say in their hearts, Aha, aha, it is pleasing to our soul. Neither let them say, We have devoured him. Let them be confounded and ashamed, together that rejoice with my afflictions. Let them be clothed with shame and confusion that speak great swelling words against me. Let them that rejoice in my righteousness exult and be glad. And let them say continually, The Lord be magnified, who desire the peace of his servant. And my tongue shall meditate on thy righteousness, and on thy praise all day. Proverbs chapter 7, verses 6 through 12. For she looks from a window out of her house into the streets, at whom she may see in the senseless ones a young man void of understanding, passing by the corner in the passages, near her house, and speaking in the dark of the evening, when there happens to be the stillness of the night and of darkness. And the woman meets him having the appearance of a harlot, that causes the hearts of young men to flutter. And she is fickle and debauched, and her feet abide not at home. For at one time she wanders without, and at another time she lies in wait in the streets, at every corner. The Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 23, verses 23 through 39. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave other undone. Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye are like unto the whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but within they are full of dead men's bones, and of all uncleanness. Even so ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! Because ye build the tombs of the prophets, and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous. And say, If we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore, ye be witnesses unto yourselves, that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers. Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you the prophets, and wise men, and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them ye shall scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city. That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of the righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias the son of Barachias, whom you slew between the temple and the altar. Verily, I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord.